Mass manipulation. I'm down with that to start. What are we passing? A rhythm. Grotesque. Final payment. Aeromunculus. This is a pretty solid pack. Ceratok and Watchdog are also decent. But we'll start with the potentially busted rare and see if we can't move in that direction. Make that work. Rare is taken out of this pack, so nothing there. We have a Gate Colossus, which is not a bad pairing with effectively a 6 or 8 drop in the sense of making a go long win off. We tried this yesterday. We went down the Gate Colossus path and ended up, we ran it, but we were nowhere near any kind of actual gate deck, but it's still probably correct here, especially since Bellhaunt is not a manipulation color. And I don't quite see anything going on at common that overcomes that. There's some support for Aeromunculus in chat. Yeah. Also, but I think you have to go with the power. I mean, this is rare level power. You've heard my rant. Like this is effectively a rare, and on Arena you just can get the gates to make it playable in almost any deck. Now, here's a Dimir card. We want to go Dimir here, but Depose Deploy is fine and goes along with our first pick color. But the black is flowing, I know, we're not really going Dimir. Hey, Banana Jack, welcome. I don't think that's a new challenge. Yeah, it's a gimme, but basically, if you heard me talking before about how the quests were designed and the concept of the degenerate quest, which I think any quest can be a degenerate quest, but basically a quest is degenerate if it causes players to build decks to beat the quest that aren't really intended to try and win the game, And while any deck could be that in those color quests, the land quests are nice because it's like you actually do have to generally play Magic to play lands. I mean, I've done a land quest deck where it was just lands and green spells that put lands onto the battlefield, but yeah, I like our picks so far, but there's a black deck here that we're missing on right now. We've got, we could have gone, I think, Grotesque Demise, Plague White, Grotesque Demise, and Blade Juggler. That would be an incredible start to a draft as well. Here we have Essence Capture, Hybrid, and we could, it's not too late to move into this arena as well. Oh, thank you. Let's get Cameron to draft mode. I'll remember one of these days. Question, what's considered a premium card? Well, if you mean literally by Wizards of the Coast language, a premium card is a card that can appear as a foil, basically. I don't know if that's your question. Did I use the word premium card? If I used the word premium card in the context of drafting, I probably just meant a high value pick. Just a high pick, I guess. What are you all thinking on this one? Yeah, you just want the Essence Capture? I suppose it's good enough. This makes me sad, though. I feel like I just kind of want to be aggro black. We can take Open the Gates and move towards more of a Simic. Forbidding Spirit continues down this Azorius path. Eel is just a solid mid-range playable, or we could take the gate itself here. I like Esper Gates, so taking a gate here and looking to be Esperish is also completely reasonable. It looks like there's a spread of support here. I think the Spirit is just okay. I think this is actually a gate pick for us. The Eel should also be on the table, really. It's a fine playable, but I think I'll take the gate here. It's the right gate. So is this. This is a great gate pick as well, I think. Maybe we'll wheel the Clear the Mind. Make this a Clear the Mind thing. Consign the Pit, Dead Revels. These all support what we've got going on. This gate doesn't really look appealing to me given what spells we've drafted. So I'm looking at the Consign, although we're pretty expensive. I mean, we're only 4 spells in, so we don't have to worry too much about curve at this point, but Vampire always fits nicely in the curve. Dead Revels is getting the most support. Now, I suppose it's the most powerful card. I just find it not at its best in this kind of deck. I mean, I'm hoping to be creature light, but I suppose it's the best thing for what we're doing here. But now there's also the support for the Vampire. I do think it is between these two now. We'll get our chances at removal later. We want cheaper removal anyway. And I think I'm going to take the first Vampire over the first Revels. Late Soroform. And probably we could take the Doggy. We are on track for Esper here, but if Soroform, and this isn't even a sign really, like the bots just don't value the hybrid, so it's not like, and I haven't been checking print run. We might as well do that now. Let's see what's at the Resolute Watchdog level. Resolute Watchdog has Skatewing Spy, Frilled Mystic on one side, and Enraged Ceratok and Rhythm of the Wild on the other. So we're seeing that there's a lot of Simic missing, even though the hybrid is here, so maybe we should ignore the hybrid, but man, I do love me the hybrid. All right. Yeah, Sauropod is always open. Soroform, whatever. All right, you guys just want to stick with Esper? Okay, we'll abandon the hybrid. Sure, let's take a couple of doggies. See if we can go hard into Esper here. Or just Azorius. I say Esper, but we could just end up Azorius. Although Locket helps with potentially being a more even Esper-y type mix. We'll take that. Not loving where this is headed now, but this is not a bad first pack. Just not great. But we'll take a Watchful Giant. I really don't like a Watchful Giant here with where we've started. I think we're going to do other things for 6 mana besides this, so I'll take the Growth Spiral on the chance that we end up veering into more base green gates if we get some gate payoffs next pack or something. And we could take a gate here, but I actually think it's more like the Pegasus is more likely to be good. Like this, we could take the Pegasus and kind of end up in a get a high alert and end up going more of a high alert direction. Plague White is easily the best card here, but I just don't see us being anywhere towards being a Imric, you're right. I think we passed a Nut Rakdos deck with Plague Whites coming around this late. Too bad, but we are beyond that now. I don't think we can turn to Rakdos. Although we could just say if black is this open, what does this say? Like maybe we do need to. But I really want to play the Mass Manipulation, and if we take Plague White, we're saying we're more Orzhov and going this kind of direction. Everybody's on Plague White, but I just don't think we're going to end up being an aggressive black deck. Do you really think it's better? Because we could get the high alert that makes Pegasus legit. I'm going to do that. I don't think Plague White is correct. We have an on-color gate reward type card that we would play even if we didn't have a ton of gates in the sneak. We have straight removal in the binding and a mythic that we wouldn't hate, be nice to rare draft, mythic draft for future gem considerations, but we'll not do that here. We're going to take either the Gateway Sneak or the binding with a wave at the Thrall. We wouldn't mind splashing a Thrall in this type of deck, but we're looking to splash black here at this point. It's pretty split between Sneak and binding right now. There's some support for mythic drafting, which I get, but this is the free-to-play account that's going to have a lot more difficulty leveraging mythics into gems that we don't do through crafting mythic rares. And I would I'd rather when we get a mythic that's like that we're going to play, that we would actually run, then we'll go ahead and convert mythic wildcards into it and turn it into gems, but we're not going to take the prime speaker here. So yeah, it's a dead heat between the Sneak and the binding. Interesting. I'm going to take the Sneak. It's close, but I like Sneak. Ooh, looky here. We've got the Cutie. We've got the High Alert, and we've got a card that goes with the Acuity. What do we have for Acuity so far? We could deploy main phase, but that's it. So if we take the Acuity, we try to move in that direction from here, which we could very much do, and I kind of like it. And how much of a High Alert deck are we? We could even wheel the High Alert. It's possible if the AI doesn't want it. I don't know how they feel about High Alert. But I think I'd rather be an Acuity deck here. Acuity that finishes with this stuff. So let's head that way. Hey, Zach. How goes? Bode, hello. Looks like there's a little more support for the High Alert plan, but I'm going to take the Acuity plan. These are two interesting build-arounds at Uncommon that we're looking at. I'm going to go with the Acuity. Eyes everywhere, eh? This is best of 3. So I'm down with taking that here. Not sure we start it, but we'll leave it there for now. Sphinx's Insight is perfect with the Acuity. So take that. Plaza over the Rakdos gate. If this were an Esper gate, I think I would just take the straight Esper option, but we'll take the Plaza here and try and wheel Revels. We already have a dead Revels. I'm not sure we run even run 2 here. Maybe we take a Crocodile or something like that. We'll take Plaza. I consider it fine out of the board. If you know that they can't trade back, and they're not playing blue, so they can't bounce their thing back or trade back for it, then I think this is fine. You give them the ability to scry 1 each turn, but basically you get to scry 1 early, and they get to scry late, and you get to take the best thing. I think it's generally like we can put it in the board because I don't intend to start it. I don't want to play it against blue, but I'll play it there. Funny, so we had the High Alert versus Acuity pick earlier. If we'd taken High Alert, we'd be taking the Courier here, but we took the Acuity, so we'll take Admonition here. Slimebind over the sideboard. Expose. We do want an Expose to Daylight, and the Nut Rakdos deck that we could have had would still be here for us. But I like where we're headed. This is a fun-looking deck. I think we'll just take the Thrall for the splash here. These are all fine. We didn't go down the High Alert path, and we'll can get Duelists later. I think this is take the Thrall for the splash. Like, we've got nothing going on at 5 even. Yeah, I think this is a Thrall pick. Take the Thrall. Gonna Here's an instant we can cast main phase, but we'll just take a Sage's. I keep saying Saints Row. I gotta give into it. I just see Row and think the S and think Saints Row. And the alert did come back, so we can still take the alert, or we have the admonition, which goes along with the build around we already took in the acuity. Do we take both, or do we just support the acuity that we have? Because we absolutely could find the support for high alert on the other side of in Pack 3. I'm sure we could get some high alert stuff. We have two watchdogs and a Pegasus that already benefit from it. But admonition is fantastic with the acuity, so it's a very close one for me. And I'm going to give chat a little time to weigh in on this one, because I think this is a fascinating pick. Yes, I've got 2 1s and 3 1s now, but first, like, we don't have to play the vampire if you don't want to. And but basically the idea of vampire, like, vampire becomes this dead draw or a really disappointing draw if you've already got the high alert out and then you draw it. But if you draw it before the high alert, it's fine, because you're trying to trade it off. All Vampire's trying to do is trade off so you can make it to your late game. And all Savant is trying to do is be an early play that scries you to set up your mid-game, your early mid-game. So it really doesn't matter that these are non-bows with a high alert. You may replace them with better cards, and you just may not run them at all, or you just accept the drawback. But we can take the admonition here. It goes great with the acuity we have going. If we find a second acuity, we'll be glad we did that. And then Quench, not really a Quench deck, but we'll put it in the board. Hey Tekken, we are in a controlled pause on moving forward on fixing our plumbing. We're not fixed. We have a very big job to fix it, so we got to get some different bids and stuff. And right now, I'm just in bail out the drain when we do laundry mode. Thought Collapse or Locket. Thought Collapse does not really work with acuity, but is still perfectly playable in the deck. We have one Locket already, and it's the splashing side of the Locket, which I think I like in this case. So yeah, I'm down with the chat on Thought Collapse here. Here's another Dead Revels. I think if we play one, we're playing exactly one. Great, exposed to daylight for the board on a 14th pick and a 15th pick. That's fantastic. Love that. Passing all the dual lands around here. We could take... we're just taking the binding, aren't we? We took a sneak over binding before. I'm not going to pass binding this time. This is what this kind of deck needs to be able to make it to its good stuff. It's doesn't combine with acuity, but it combines with winning Magic games. Splash the Juggler? I think I like Splash the Juggler over Clear the Stage. Or like a Scavenger. This is a pretty weak pick 2, unfortunately, for us, but I think I'm just going to take the Juggler. It's at its worst here, right? Like, it's often going to be a 5 mana 3/2 draw 1 here, but I still think it was the pick. And we get we're not super into the gate rewards, but we'll take a 3/4 flyer that will gain us a few life. And here's a gate we can take. And we're at 25 cards with 3 gates, so we're doing great on playables as well. So we can totally focus on trying to get the gate plan in better shape, especially when we have an on-color gate like that. And here we have a lot of choices. Well, a lot. I just saw a lot of on-color, but really it's just a Chillbringer. But we would play Senate Griffin and Shimmer. But Chili B joins the squad. Get a second essence capture here, which is fine. Ooh, I like this gate showing up when it does. This is a perfect time for this gate. Nothing I love here. We could play the transport to just have a body to create some flyers, but that seems silly. Like, we could just take this if we want a generic body. Like, we'll take the crocodile and put it in the board. There's some matchups where 7 toughness is super relevant and we would actually bring the croc in, so let's take that. Another Orzhov locket or a courier without the high alert, but it's still playable. 4 toughness in the sky is big game. A lot of 3-powered flyers in the format. Don't think either any of these 3 are making the cut, and none of them are uncommon. So we'll take the cheapest one. If we go against Rakdos, we may want to bring in the cheapest creatures we've got. What a gift here to get a gate, on-color gate at this pick. Yeah, there was definitely a great Rakdos deck we could have drafted, but I do like where we ended up. I think this deck has some oomph. Another vampire or a nice a hexproof 2/5. Like, I would play this over the Catacomb Crocodile in a lot of matchups where the problem is that you play your stabilization creature and they remove it. So Humongous is great against decks where they are looking to apply early pressure and then clear the way with removal. But Viscopa Vampire is also good against those decks in that it comes down much earlier, trades off hopefully, and gains some life. Let's check our curve here. I think since they're plays against similar decks, we'll take the cheaper one. So Blade Brand that we could run out there. No? All right. So 2 cuts, because we did draft a lot of gates. And here we're at 12 creatures and 13 non-creatures. I think we can ditch the locket, although we didn't exactly... We have some card draw in Acuity, Insight. Like, what's our combo potential with Acuity even? How did we do on that front? We've got... Essence Capture is not going to happen, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty weak. It's still playable, but this is not a good Acuity deck. Probably don't need Dead Revels, no. But we are creature light, and it would be good to get back like a Chillbringer, Archway, or Thrall, or even Juggler if it happened, if they die. It's kind of a late game card draw. But we do need to cut a spell here, I think. Maybe even 2. We could like bring in a second vampire. There is some concern. Let's see. Blue source check. If we left it at it is 6, 7, 8, 9. That's pretty low for a 4 blue requirement, but it's so powerful. And then, but we also have more black than we need. Like, we have 3, 4. We have 4 black sources inherently. We might even be able to cut the black entirely, or just leave it to the Thralls. You know, maybe that... These are all pretty late plays. Or maybe I'm being silly about the Blade Juggler and it's just not doing what the deck wants it to do, and we're better off with just a vampire in its place. Because if we do that... If we do that, then we've got two later game cards on the black splash, and then the 4 sources for it would be fine with me, and then we can add an island. And then what does that leave us for white? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 white and 8, 9, 10, 11 blue. 11 blue, 9 white, 4 black seems good here, and it makes me feel more comfortable about the mass manip. Zach would cut the acuity. It's borderline, but its floor is so okay. You know, like the floor of like literally never activating it, like not once, is obviously pretty meh. 3 mana for a card and 2 life is, you know, you think about, you know, white has 2 mana, gain 3 life, draw a card, right? So and that's not a high playable at all. So Zach is totally right that like we never activate this, it's just really inefficient. But it still replaces itself, so its floor is not terrible. And if you activate it once, if we get one of these things and you get to cast it a second time, then you're happy. You know, then I'm happy. So it's we're working on our final cut here. That's why we're at 41. I don't know if Wujo, if they were going to update it, they'd let us know. They should. They do take a week off. They don't update every week. Yeah, it's like, so Valhalla says acuity has never been a great payoff, but it doesn't have to be a great payoff. It just has to be playable to good, and its floor is playable, and activating once is good, and then activating 3, 4, 5 times is going off, right? But I think I want to try it. I think we're going to run that. So, but let's figure out what we're going to cut then and get on with this game. We do just cut the Revels, but I think, because really the only stuff I'm happy to get back is Angel, Thrall, and Chillbringer, these 3 cards, and this comes back on its own, and it lets us really, like, now we only have the 1 Thrall for these 4 black sources, so I think I like that. This is Azorius. Azorius Mass. 3 gate payoffs, Angel. But what I like about these particular gate payoffs is that I play each of these with even fewer gates than we have. Like, we have 3, 4, 5, we have 6. I'd play all of these on 4 gates, so they feel pretty good. Yeah, I did. Swamp's gone. In fact, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Just make sure we have that right. Yeah, we passed, let's see, I think we took something else over an Azorius Signet at one point, but had to make the tough call. But yeah, we have 11 sources of blue, though. I think we'll be good. Let's screen capture this and get to the battlefield, shall we? I will update. Look at me, moving to the battlefield and updating stuff. We are free to play. Zero, 0. And RNA BO3. Oops. Okie doke. Not in love with 5 landers in general, but we're actually going to keep this. We've got 3 gates, we've got gate payoffs, and we got it. Most importantly, a Sage's Row Savant for the turn 2 play. Thank you, Tekken. That is courtesy of one Oni Spumoni. Viewer Oni Spumoni helped with that. Hired him to do my overlay, and I'm pretty pleased. Doggy saving the sneak. And essence capture, making the sneak bigger, that all seems fine to me. And we've got plenty of land coming, so we'll keep those. Wow, Oppo took a chance, and it's not coming through for them. We're going to try and punish them for that. You do not have to have a creature in play for essence capture. It's up to one target, so... If they don't come up with a land here, I think game one is going to be pretty easy. In fact, game one may end now. Next turn we get Gateway Plaza plus Essence Capture up. Got to figure out what to show Oppo here. I guess we'll do this. And like that. Yeah, we have Slimebind. I'm looking to not show them stuff if we can help it, but gotta play your spells. We'll go look for a non-gate land to play this turn so that our sneak can keep getting through in case Oppo does mount a comeback of sorts here. Now we're all gates all the time, so we're going to go ahead and play that one. And we'll play the dog. I could fake counter magic, but let's just apply maximum pressure. Pegasus, not great, but gets in the way. What do we see there? Looks like maybe Simic, but the one green spell... No, it was actually, we saw red cards discarded, so they're Gruul. And Gruul, maybe the Crocodile has a home. We could bring in Eyes Everywhere and steal something big from them. I kind of like that. But we have to cut something in that instance, and not sure I want to go below 12 creatures, although that, again, that Pegasus, not amazing, but holds off some 2/2s for a bit. If we bring in Eyes Everywhere, what are we taking out? Courier, Thought Collapse? I'm going to cut a Thought Collapse for the Eyes Everywhere. See how that goes. Acuity too slow. Yeah, maybe we can do Thought Collapse and it's call Acuity too slow for a Gruul beatdown situation. I like that, Scott Martin. Does gain some life. Didn't see anything to expose. We saw them discard some red cards when they, at least, yeah, one red aggressive card. So I'm putting them on aggressive Gruul based on their discarding. We'll try this. All right. Again, not amazing, but mix of lands and spells, I will take it. Draconis, I think Quench has more value in Gruul because you're more likely to want to be countering stuff early. And I did consider it, but then declined because we are still ultimately trying to go fairly mid to late with this deck, and Quench is just the worst in that spot. Okay, Rhythm of the Wild is a reason to bring in some enchantment removal if we go to 3 here. And we will I can have Thought Collapse or the Vampire. I think I'm going to keep Thought Collapse up here. Turbo Cop is having terrible luck with RNA so far. 4 and 17. Eek. Hard to say without more detail. It's also, it seems like a big sample size, but it's actually not necessarily, so don't be too dejected. You know, if your record lifetime is more, you know, in the somewhere near 50-50, you know, 45 to 55 type range. Yeah. We gotta... I didn't leave Thought Collapse up to not counter whatever they were going to play, so we're going to do that. I think if you're generally a successful limited Magic player and you're having one of those horrible starts, it's usually just... Oh, I'm so dumb! Sorry, gang. I can't believe I haven't not remembering the second line of Rhythm of the Wild this point into the format, but here we are. Yeah. So what do I even? So we should maybe even take Counter Magic out. Like, gosh, we have 2 more dead cards lurking in the deck. I mean, we got to get over, like, whatever. Maybe if Thought Collapse found a non-creature, I'll regret that. But really, it was like. It was a dead card, and there you go. So we'll think about how we're going to sideboard based on that. Let's get this out and this out. It's a punt, but it's like, yeah, it was just a dead card punt anyway. A near dead card. I shouldn't say that about Thought Collapse because it could obviously get a non-creature, but... yeah, here we are. We'll try and get some life back on the board. We need... What do we need now? How are we going to get out of this? We have the mana towards Mass Manipulation, so rooting for our big rare wouldn't be bad. Obviously, Gate Colossus does some work here, but I have a feeling we're about to get run over. Yes. Deploy or Savant? I think we need to Savant, but don't do it that way, please. Chili Bee and another ground blocker life gainer. I think we have to do that. Which of these first, though? Probably Chili Bee into the life gain. And we might depose, but probably... we might have to depose here. But, like, what gets us more life long haul? Are we blocking anything? We only have 1 card, and we would put a double on something here, so we're going to no attack, because I will put Savant and Pegasus on the board, for example, if it activates. Depose. So we can save 4 damage with Depose and draw a card. We have Chili, and we know what the next 2 draws we have are. And we go land, Chili, and we'll have 6 land. And deploy. We can't do both on 6, so it may be best for us to just use this now to save 4. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think with our sequencing in the next handful of turns, saving some life here, and they have nothing to do, it seems, but activate, and we just can't quite get them Are we willing to trade one of these creatures to prevent another 4? No, I think we say go ahead, use your whole turn to get another 5, rather. It looks like they weren't going to do it anyway. Interesting. So Rubble Belt is going to get a counter. We're starting to face some insurmountable opposition here, but Chillbringer will really help. And good that they've emptied their hand on that. We're not out of this yet. We got to pin down... Probably actually this, now that they are... If they draw something, you know, if they draw a land, they have nothing to do but turn this into a 5/4. So let's pin down the quasi 5/4 instead of the actual 4/4. Yeah, the auto tapper in this format is, you got to be careful if you're playing anything gate heavy, because it'll save these random gates you're running as a splash, as though it's as important as your main color. Okay, how are we approaching this? Can we... If we could 1-for-1 by Chillbringer plus Savant onto one of these 4/4s, we would do that. But we probably just have to... Although the Vampire does trade with the Boar next turn. So let's trade with the... I hate 2-for-1ing ourselves here. I don't think we can afford to 2-for-1 ourselves here. But we... Yeah, we can't 2-for-1 ourselves here. We got to do this. And then hope... Yeah, I think we're just dead, but this is... It can't be right to 2-for-1 ourselves. Does this give us enough? If they draw blanks, we have 3 blockers and some lifelink, so it may be just enough. And we can save the Vampire for a second run on the lifelink. We're like... I don't think there's a way we can win this, but I like seeing... We'll see if we can extend it another turn here. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's your Vandal.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Too busy dying to throw memes at you, sorry. What's got trample? Anything? Menace, no trample, no trample. Okay. So... Huh, they didn't even send this. Why do that? Interesting. Because now we can do something differently. We can go... like this. And like this. Three. That gets it no matter what. Yeah. Alright, we'll do this. I don't know why Nightbot got on your case, Zach. Sorry. We'll see what's going on. Oh, let's pat. We're gonna go. Saving that. Ha! We survived. Oppo, are you nuts? Why didn't you just kill us there? It was so easy to kill us. We can't win. I'm not even going to show him that. Oppo misplayed to give us a little extra time there, but there was nothing we could do there. Maybe we need something silly like a Blade Brand, take down some big stuff with a small thing on the splash. That's an idea. We were gonna... I think I want to take out and essence capture. We'll keep the thought collapse. Well, I don't know what. Let's bring in an expose. We could do that and like final dead revels because they are killing a lot of our creatures. It's tough to board against the pesky enchantment, but it's the only thing we saw, so I'm not like, I don't want to rush to jam a bunch of exposed to daylights in for one aura. It would be sitting there staring at 2 exposed to daylights while creatures just beat us down would be awful. Quench is too bad in the late game for me to want to bring it in. I think I'm just going to run with this. Kind of hoping to essence capture before it becomes a put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control when your opponent casts a creature spell. Alright, that's keepable. If we can just avoid the blistering start, that would be great. Although we've, we got a slime bind here, so... But that's perfect. That's what we wanted to see. In fact, I'm going to run the vampire out here. We can play Eyes Everywhere on 4. If Oppo stumbles at all here, and for some reason we manage to connect with the vampire, fantastic. Looks like they're considering skewering that vampire, which they probably will do. We got our big bomb. And the eyes, they are everywhere. We could have incited, but I want to get this online here. Yeah. Yeah. Do that. Put it on ice.
All right, everyone. Chill.
And yeah, we'll take that. I just want to do a serious manipulation in this one. I will main phase Insight to see if we draw a regular land for Slime Bind. We do not, so we'll play the gate. Not going to be able to block given the Shaman, so we're going to attack. Man, I'm drinking a soda, but it's chilly in the house. I should make some coffee at my lunch break or something. Alright, they've got some pressure. We've got admonition to set them back a little. Huh, do we want a courier? What does that do for us? This can start to attack through it. Shaman plus Menace is really rough on actually blocking. I think we just want to keep marching towards maybe even a double manipulation and use Slime Bind and Admonition to kind of buy us time. Oh, that's a little better. 6 mana this turn. We have Dog, Vampire, Slime Bind. I like that. This gives us a couple options. We have Watchdog, double block with Vampire and Watchdog, but see, the thing is, this is where the Clamor Shaman just really makes life difficult for us, so... Well. That hurts a little bit, but we can save it. It's indestructible. Yeah, let's make this indestructible. They get to no block, but we get... Ooh, we get another doggy. Do we want the other doggy? And have kind of the same play, or we can just manipulate this turn. Or Eyes Everywhere this turn. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we have time for another doggy is the question. The real question is whether we're doing anything with Eyes Everywhere or Mass Manipulation this turn, in which case we send the dog down. But we could also... Yeah, it's that pesky shaman. Maybe we leave everything back, and then... I'm going to keep it, and we'll do Admonition, Slimebind, Dog as our plan this turn. And what goes back best? These can be hasty, but let's send the 4-mana one back. Great, now we have Slimebind and Watchdog activation. And we're 1 land away from double manipulation, and then we can even Eyes Everywhere to steal 3 things. That seems pretty good if we can just survive. We're at 10, so it's not like that's a guarantee here. Let's see what they do in terms of haste versus... Okay, good. That's what I was expecting. And they had to not attack. Great. So... I'm going to throw the Slimebind on the Wrecker now, because we can. And we can just kind of now ignore that. We'll keep the binding. We could go for land number 8, but I think the binding is just too good here. Let's see what they do pre-combat. But I think we can even... I'm going to... With the binding ready for the Clamor, I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Chillbringer. And then we'll be ready to bind the Shaman. And maybe just be able to get him in the air before the manipulation is even needed. But hopefully we find an untapped land, a basic land, on the top of our library, and we manipulate next turn after they produce some big Gruul threat. This turn. Right, that's part, like, we don't want to steal any of these yet, and we can control the board without the mass manip. Then we basically say anything you play is not going to be enough because we steal the big thing you play and, like, the goblin or the you know, dagger caster. Yeah, that's one of the effects of running this card, is that it makes your opponent not want to play obvious targets. But at some point, you gotta win the game of Magic. Yeah. We'll take that. I'm just worried that they have a second green. That means they're like, and they wanted it. You know, they didn't choose some red creature or something. So it's likely that they're going to do something double greeny coming up, and maybe the play here is to take something with eyes everywhere and then manipulate after next turn. I'm also worried about something hasty coming down that could really wreck us. So maybe the vampire trades with everything they can block with. Yeah, I'm worried about Wrecking Beast, but I don't know if we don't like lose to that, do we? If we get to 13 life especially, I'm not going to be greedy. Let's attack with Vampire and Chillbringer and just take 2 of anything left. Taking the dagger, unfortunately, won't cause it to enter the battlefield. It's almost like it's on the battlefield and it slides over to our side without entering it again. Not the sexiest mass manipulation ever, but I think just doing this is correct, because then if they even get something huge here, we take it with eyes everywhere, and we're still fine. Cincy swag, it's actually pretty close depending on how you measure it. Interesting. I guess they got us while we were tapped. We don't want that now. I'll speak to that value proposition in a second. So that's cool. We got something else to do. Can never ever pump that, but we'll just try and see if we can get there with a Grasping Thrall in a couple of swings. And again, we have eyes everywhere to take something if they make a big one. Yeah, so the value proposition, though, it depends on how you value packs and cards. If you like Constructed a lot and the rewards you get from booster packs and wild cards are useful to you on that front, then the value proposition might change. But you can... sorry, Oppo is like, hurry up, dude. I'm just going to take this... We could put 3... I guess we can do this. No, I don't want to put the doggy at risk. I'm just going to take it for now. Yeah, the Plaza does allow us to pump the Gravelhide. That's true. Good call. But one thing to consider, so if you go to look at that spreadsheet, what you should do is copy it, make a copy of it for yourself so you can edit it, and then you can go in and edit the win percentage from 50%, which it defaults to whatever you think you are in a given format. Because here's the thing, whatever quality level player you feel that you are, your match win percentage is going to be different in best of 1 than it is going to be in best of 3. It's going to be better in best of 3 than it is going to be in best of 1 in a vacuum. There's that Plaza that could allow us to pump the Gravelhide, but not for a turn, and I want immediate action if we can find it. And now, just for safety, we will go ahead and eyes everywhere one of these Rubber Belt runners. They do get a scry here, but I still think that's correct. We have Watchdog to protect the Thrall against burn. So yeah, keep that in mind, but you can adjust your win percentages in best of 1 and best of 3 to get an idea of what your gem EV is, and then you need to apply your own personal layer of value in terms of what booster packs, wild cards, and adding cards to your collection means to you in terms of value. And one of the reasons that's important is because best of 3 has better pack prizes than best of 1. Best of 3 scales up, and if you get 5 wins in a best of 3, you get like 5 booster packs, which is a big deal if you care about wild cards or if you're going to be completing the set frequently. Then it really does matter.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Oppo, really just digging for an answer to Thrall, but we have Thrall protected with Watchdog, so I don't think they're going to find a way out here. And we can try and eat. Actually, let's try and trade. And that eats. And then I think we just risk the other 3. I guess we can throw this in the way. I think that was the desperation attack, and I'm hoping for exploding Planeswalker here. Not sure what green-red can do about this Thrall in the face of a Watchdog. Good boy. Good boy. They needed like an instant speed kill card to respond to that indestructible with. All right. Groovy. I'm gonna go turn on the heat. So we're gonna have the Furnace Dragon join us, and I'm gonna be a little bit warmer. 1 second. All right, let's keep it going. Aboo. If this were like an Azorius gate, maybe we keep because of the Savant, but without even a blue source, we have to throw this back. Where's that new mulligan rule when you need it? This is almost a mulligan to 5 with this manipulation being so far away. And what are we exactly doing here? We're like gonna... Alright. Had to do it. Yeah, there's a new mulligan rule, if you didn't know. They're trying it out in London. The rule is mulligan back to 7 every time you mulligan. Then, when you decide to keep, put N cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, where N is the number of times you mulliganed. Oh, sure. This game's going to be over quick. We can keep up essence capture, but for what? Like, we need to find answers to life here, so... Let's see what that gets us. We can bounce and counter, so I like that, actually. But we're not going to... Are we going to bounce and counter next turn? Yeah, we can even do it next turn. If we have enough blue, and we do. So we're going to keep it like that and bounce and counter. I texted Aaron Forsyth to see if he knew, to ask who suggested that mulligan idea, because I think it's pretty brilliant, and that person deserves a pat on the back. Like, people are worried about the implications of it on Eternal formats, where being able to... wow. So many things that we want to bounce and counter. Where single cards are so powerful that being able to mulligan, looking desperately for that one card, like Bazaar of Baghdad is what many people are calling out. Because Bazaar of Baghdad in the old formats, it's like for decks that don't even care what their hand size is, they care about what's in their graveyard. And so when you can mulligan 6 times and see 6 different hands with 7 cards, and all you need is one Bazaar of Baghdad, like, your chances of finding your Bazaar of Baghdad are really high. So there's concern there, but to that I say, like, I really am unconcerned with the health of ancient formats with this kind of situation. I think you need to focus on making current Magic the best it can be, and I think this is a fantastic mulligan rule for Limited in particular. But they just need to solve the old formats however they want to solve them, but not at the expense of... Don't quench me, bro. Not at the expense of current Magic and keeping players. Oh, you quench me, we're just done. I'm going to move on if you quench me. No? Alright. And for the record, Aaron could not remember. It came up in a Magic meeting at some point, and he was unable to identify the designer of the new mulligan rule. I think the reason to have consistency in your mulligan rules, Zach, is elegance of design. You don't want yet another thing to explain about Magic. Okay, here's how mulligans work here, and here's how they work here. We extent do that anyway, because Commander already has, like, oh, in multiplayer you can mulligan back to 7 with no penalty or whatever. So that's maybe a weak argument, since there already are different mulligan styles, but not at like a competitive level. At a competitive level, the mulligan rules are all the same, and there is value to that. But if the most fun players can have in Eternal formats is with Mulligan Rule A, and the most fun current players can have with the Mulligan Rule is Rule B. I think that's probably a reason to lose some elegance in the name of making people happy, you know? Creating the most fun games that you can. No, I've never dressed as a bearded Luke Skywalker. The comment I've gotten a lot since I started streaming is that I remind people of the guy in Walking Dead. But I don't watch that show, so it doesn't have huge meaning to me. So, we have Gateway Sneak, but is that going to get us out of this? What gets us out of this? Viscopa Vampire surviving starts to counteract the Grasping Thrall, and the Watchdog helps us do that. And we could depose the Thrall for a turn, which seems better than deploy, because deploy is just going to make two chumps for the Thrall. And if we can get our fourth blue mana, we can manipulate the Thrall into our side, and that seems good. Sneak is possible, but like we're at 6, so like if we can connect with a vampire, it really does buy us some time. And so plan A here is to survive until we can manipulate the Thrall onto our side. Sky Tether. Okay. Well, we'll let that resolve and then tap the Thrall for sure. They could be flooding, but tough to say. All right, there we go. That's also an answer to that Thrall if we can find an untapped land. Oy, you really don't like to... I mean, we could send the admonition back, and it nets us 1 life, because if we leave it, I guess we just send back our own vampire. And then if we do draw the land, we can cast it. So let's do that, because sending back the Thrall doesn't gain us anything here. Doesn't gain us nothing, but it gains us very little. If we can avoid dying next turn, now we have a really good point swing in the Angel next turn. Just need to survive. And I like the Angel as a stabilization play, especially if we draw a land. If we draw a land, then a gate would be perfect. We get more life out of the Angel, and we set up to get closer to 8 for the double manipulate. Riot Trample. Oh, I thought about it. Like, I just didn't think that we were in danger of this card specifically. I didn't mention it, but there was, we could have left this Savant back to avoid dying specifically to the Wrecking Beast, but it didn't necessarily feel like a Wrecking Beast deck. Like, it feels like a gate deck. So I wasn't expecting death from that. It's probably correct to leave it back, though. I mean, we don't really care what their life total is. We care about surviving to take over with our more powerful spells. So that's just a reminder of how close this game is. And when I think about where I'm different from a top pro, and I've been playing for 25 years, I take it seriously. I'm a reasonably good player, but you find these little places where I make a slip and I just feel like a top pro doesn't there. A Ben Stark in that spot says, There's no reason to attack here when we could be setting ourselves up to lose to a hasty trampler. You know, like, just why put that loss on the table when we can keep it back and stay alive? I'm pretty greedy when it comes to getting those. Peas of Crab asked, would I have ever considered playing the bounce spell on their turn? Not really, not in that spot, because I wanted to draw a land to replay it. But yeah, saving the admonition also would have been a failsafe. If we wanted to make that attack, we could say, but we're going to keep this back. But then we're giving up on a card, and I think if we're expecting to stabilize, turn the corner, and win, we do actually want that card. Yeah, we toughed it out for a mold of 5, that's true. Let's see, we saw everything from them, so we don't want the eyes everywhere. Didn't see a lot of removal even, so like Revels doesn't seem good. Do we see anything to expose to daylight? We might presume that with the Ram that there's a Colossus to get, but let's make him show it to us first. I think we just run this back here. There was a Sky Tether, that's true. I don't think a single Sky Tether is worth bringing that in, though. We have 2 admonitions to save our stuff from enchantments. That looks pretty good. I'm going to play the Azorius Guildgate because we have blue spells to draw. We have those 2 counter spells. And we don't have any of our black to splash here. And I do want to lead with a Savant here. I'd like to find a basic land. There's a basic land, and we'll keep the gate as well. Basic land allows us to Acuity. And then another gate gets us closer to cheap Colossus, so I like both of these. And in that order. Now, we didn't see any counter... We didn't see Quench or anything in Game 1, did we? I don't think so. What do you do about... Fairy? Like, I don't know how much to play around the Fairy. Like, right now, at least I remembered, which is a start, but, like, do you really not attack with the Savant just because you're afraid of this Duelist? Like, if they have a Duelist, we could Admonition it. That's really sad. But Saints Row has already gotten value in terms of the Scry. I mean, it didn't change anything. I don't know. I'm gonna attack, but the Fairy Duelist is very interesting in what it does to these types of attacks. So at least I went in eyes wide open. Like, I knew that could happen. And it doesn't trade, though. We just get eaten. That's the thing. It also has the benefit of making sure we're not being quenched on this. I mean, part of the reason I do it is just like a 2/1 also doesn't. It's just going to be a dead card soon enough anyway. That I don't think the loss of it there is massive. I think, yeah, so like this just isn't much of a valuable creature once it's on the battlefield, and that was another reason to do it there, I think. Okay. Gate City. Could obviously Admonition here, but I don't see why. I mean, it sends this back. I guess that would be why, that we're just trying to spin wheels, and maybe that's even worth it. It just gives them Duelist again. I'm going to be patient. They're failing to apply very much pressure to us right now. This threatens some kind of counterspell. And I just don't want to give them another ETB on the Duelist when we can do something like bounce that eel after it's gotten counters or whatnot. Sneak, you say? Yeah, we'll sneak. Unfortunately, we don't get to take advantage of that gate activation, but we get to take advantage of this one, and we get to cast a Colossus next turn, especially if they tap down. Love to see them spend the rest of their mana on the eel, which is both going to be stonewalled. Oh, you want to try and block my gateway sneak. That's silly. Nobody blocks gateway sneaks. Although now they've got counter magic up themselves, and that play was weird. I might try and lure them with the Chillbringer instead of the Colossus here. Let's start with an attack, though. Oh, great. Well, thank you for making that clear. Still could... Yeah, let's just Colossus. Coast is clear. They've got enchantment-based removal. We've got Admonition in hand, so that's another reason to keep the Admonition. We've seen Sky Tether and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, we've used a lot. We have 6 gates, and 4 of them are already down, so we might not get that back for a while. But we've got some tools to grind here. Oh, exiled, of course. Then we're never getting it back. That's okay, we have tools to win elsewhere. Bye, buddy. If we go to game 3, that could be a reason to remember, like, we have Admonition, let's try and save the Gate Colossus to when we can rescue it with Admonition. And here... Well, I guess there's no reason not to attack first, but we're probably going to Chillbring the eel. I'm not going to... We'll get our Acuity loops going, but in the meantime, let's just build our board. Oh, sorry, I owe you a chill, too.
All right, everyone, chill.
It's hard to convict a giant mechanical construct, but they did it. Alright, not super worried about that. I'm a little bit super worried about winning before they get their big stuff online. They've obviously got some nasty beasts, so we'll start with a free card, though. Let's go find our mass manipulation, then we can steal their nasty beasts. Alright. We can do either of these for the Acuity trick, but Admonition allows us to recast the Acuity, so we'll do that and bounce this eel. Ooh. Telegraphed, but we're gonna totally... leave up Essence leave up Essence Capture that we can't cast, dummy. And I was about to draw a card, and I was really loose with my my mana tapping. And should have thought about the fact that I was going to draw a card and not let it auto tap for me. got plenty of mana though, so we'll get it. We'll counter something else. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. We have a. Oh, we can do it all, folks. We can do it all as long as we don't let auto tap really wreck us, and we go like that, and like that. We can Acuity. Ooh, we can Insight and still do it all if we like this. And then everything else makes blue, so it's fine. All right. We have one admonition left that might get our Chillbringer back. We're gonna take 5 this turn. Well, we could throw. Yeah, we're take 5 this turn. Oh, they're not going to attack anyway. They continue to want to. Why not attack with that eel? You don't want to trade it? You don't want to trade it, I guess. There's an admonition that we could use to get Chili Bee back, but I'm going to start with a gate and get in with the sneak. 16 cards. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back to the 9. Let's go ahead and play the Acuity. Now we've got Thought Collapse and Essence Capture, but we're going to have to discard if we don't play something else. And actually, I am okay with that. We could Admonition and counter on the way back down, but we're actually also not in any grave danger here. I'm going to end the turn, pitch a land, and keep multiple counter spells up. Yeah, they seem uninterested in making that play anyway. Of attacking with the eel. I don't know why. I'd be attacking with the eel. Alright, now let's deploy. Maybe? Maybe that's their plan. Maybe it's a decent one. I do think I'm ready to Admonition the Chillbringer back. And we can get black from the plaza if we need it. Let's go ahead and play the Acuity. Maybe yeah. Don't want to mill us out before. I think, yeah, tools are good. I think we can overwhelm them. We're not going to get milled out. I don't think. Don't quote me on that. Or quote me on that and laugh later. Your choice. That's pretty useful. But we'll still save that for next turn. I'm going to go through one more turn of countering, being able to counter stuff, and then next turn we'll set up to really start applying pressure. If we get to capture, essence capture, we'll throw it on the Pegasus. Or maybe one of the Thopters even. So they're not going to do anything. I think we actually bind the Duelist here, because it unlocks all of these flyers to be able to attack. Oppo eyeing the Acuity and letting it happen. Don't know how good Doggy is in this matchup. We haven't seen much in the way of damage-based removal. Oppo's got plenty. We're going to deck first, so it's not like we're winning that race even with a Thought Collapse. Let's start. I'm just trying to figure out if we're... No, we're not getting through on the ground. But we'll send in our Air Force. And we will... work on building additions to it. Chili Bee with Thought Collapse seems good. I guess we tap the eel. Doesn't even really matter all that much. Let's play this. Then we don't have to discard anything, and we can actually play the Doggy. Dogs don't look great in this matchup, though. Anything I can do? We Thought Collapse it, seeing if we could just let it resolve, but no, we'll Thought Collapse it, maybe get the Dejection win here. But I think the dogs need to come out. They have not protected us against anything that Oppo has offered yet. Pretty annoying. 7 cards to victory. Can we do it? I think we stop with the Acuity now and just lay on the Air Force. We could probably still Acuity. Like, we're gonna get there or we're not. But I don't think a turn of attacking could make a difference, so we'll play it careful here. Probably do want the Vampire now. I was thinking about binding the Panther, but it still can block. Like, it wouldn't actually allow us to get an attack through, but maybe next turn, when the Vampire can actually attack, we will. Why do you want to bind the Panther, though? What is... Bind the Panther all out attack with the Sneak that then bounces off the Panther? I don't understand that suggestion. That's true. We do have a mass manipulation waiting for us. Given that, maybe we just go get it. Should we just go find it? I'm gonna risk it. And we still have Essence Capture and Slime Bind, so yeah, we're doing it. I am not afraid. Gotta find something else for the dogs, though. They're not the right, this is not the right matchup for doggies. That's a little more interesting. I guess I don't care too much about any of these attacks. What are they doing? Are they going to blow up the world? This is like a blow up the world attack. I think Kaya's Wrath is incoming. That's my prediction here. I think we've played into Wrath, and so maybe these doggies are good. If so, we'll find out. Let's pass to blockers and just say no blocks. Like, we're at 28. Whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to put anything at risk here. We don't even need to Slime Bind. I'm not going to Slime Bind because we might want to take it. Aha! Aha! It was, in fact, the Wrath. So we're going to keep what? Let's keep... Vampire? Vampire seems slightly better than keeping a flyer. Funny, now the mass manipulation actually isn't a good draw. Oh, now it is. All right, change my mind. We could capture that, but I think the play is actually to try and manipulate it. Timeout used. I know that was weird. We could have captured its essence, but there you go. We're going to manipulate it. Question is, do we want to wait for something? Nah, we don't. We're going to go... Oops. Ours is bigger. Yes, the enchantment stays on the creature. Equipment would even stay on the creature, but the equipment, anything on the creature continues to be controlled by the original caster. So you end up controlling a ram with somebody else's aura on it, but it stays on it. Oh, man. Maybe the doggies stay in. They had just enough removal to make those doggies worthwhile. It's like, all right, what are we cutting the doggies for? And then they ended up winning us that game. So maybe the doggies stay in. If the doggies stay in, then what are we doing? Did we see any... Let's see, we saw the one tether. Do we see anything else we cared about for enchantment removal? Didn't see a Colossus. Yeah. Oh, they had a binding too? Okay, if they had a binding and a tether, we'll bring in one of those. No, I don't want to add prying eyes. What's prying? You mean eyes everywhere? I don't want to add eyes everywhere. They're playing blue. I'm not interested in that mini game. Yeah, I was going to get rid of both of them. Now I want both as Wrath protection. That's pretty powerful to be able to protect against that Wrath. Let's take out maybe something... What do we got? 38 seconds? Okay, I got a little bit of time. Thought Collapse mattered. Revels has some use in this matchup since they're blowing up the world. That's a good point. We could do like that. But then what are we cutting? It's the cuts that are so difficult. Maybe we do cut one doggy in that case. No, I think we just leave the Revels out. And, I don't think that was right, because, like, the Thought Collapse gets the Wrath as well. But I wanted to do something. And I didn't want to remove a creature. Some of our creatures aren't great there, but now that the dogs have a role, I really wanted to leave all the creatures. Oh, I saw this side first and was happy, and then came around to this side and saw a mulligan. Again, if this were an island, maybe you keep on the strength of the Savant. But I don't see how we can keep this. Although, man, if there's an island on top, it's fine. We got a mulligan. Same hand, one fewer card, and it's an island, though. We'll keep this one. Come on, plains, 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 or white gate, white gate, white gate. White gate on top is the dream. That is not the dream. Come on. One more draw at a white gate. Here we go. I'll take a plains or a white gate. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Man. I smell turn 4 gate ram coming, and we're already discarding. Wonderful. I'm gonna ditch the dog. This is the kind of the most expensive, but like this stuff is what gets us back in it. Maybe Slimebind is what we actually ditch here, but that helps it. Like all this stuff kind of helps is the thing. I'm actually just going to ditch the Pegasus. I think it's the least... No, Acuity, like if there's a path back into this game for us, it's because we leverage Acuity to get us back ahead in get us ahead in cards enough to make up for this awful start. Well, if they counter this, like, it's real bad, actually. They probably got Thought Collapse, but they're letting it go? Okay, 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 okay. Gate, then. Island seems fine. Yeah, they have failed to pressure us, so there is a window back in this game. Now we can Slimebind the Thrall as we play our gate. No, Island then Gate for Sneak is a little bit too cute. We want to get to white mana ASAP so we can do things like make a Vampire for lifelink, get the Acuity going, and deploy for life gain as well. Probably have a free attack here. Like, well, no, what can we do? Like, nah, there's nothing. We can't pump. Never mind. I was gonna say we could bluff an attack and maybe get through, and then our fail case is to Slimebind. I could have slime binded while they were tapped out, but I also... Yeah, maybe I should have. But if they use counter magic on a slime bind, it wouldn't be the worst, because we need this other stuff to resolve to have any chance in this game. And we didn't see a counter when we cast the Savant. I think with 3 mana and Thought Collapse mana up, us playing a Savant while clearly mana screwed, having discarded, they would have countered that. So that's why I didn't really fear the counter. Now, now what do we want? Let's start with a... We'll play the land and attack. Yeah, let's try the Vamp, see if we can get some life back and some pressure out of our own. Sneak is a possibility as well, but they're going to leave the Thrall back. The Sneak's not getting through until we find another gate, so I feel like we should just wait on the Sneak until we have the power to get it through. Provided we have other things to do, of course. Let's Acuity first. You could play the island to play around Quench or whatever, but again, they haven't shown any counters here. Right now we don't have anything we particularly want to Admonition, although we might even do it on our Savant to try and dig to a way back into turning this corner. Okay, now... Sneak protected by Admonition, perhaps, is the way to go, but I really do want to run the Admonition out for Acuity value. But what am I going to do? Bring the Savant back? Really? That's really the plan? I don't think it's the plan. I'm going to leave Admonition. I think the Sneak is valuable enough to protect at the cost of Acuity value. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if it's threatened. Oppo really holds back when I have something like a Sneak, and I'm not sure why. Like, the Thrall blocks it if I don't have a gate. Could even cast the Angel, but I agree that we're kind of playing around Wrath here. Although it's not like... I guess let's actually deploy here. It's a thing... Oops. No. It's a thing we can do. It's gonna bring the Acuity back and keep those cycles going. And it makes us some... Gets us some life. It's basically just... I agree with the read that we're up against a Wrath here. So I'm kind of trying to do some free things. Free meaning, you know, Acuity comes back and we get to cycle on that. And maybe make them do the Wrath. Okay, or commit, you know, commit something to the board here. That's cool. Let's keep going with the acuity plan. We can even do acuity insight here, for example. Ooh, I was going to say now I don't even necessarily want to protect the sneak all that much, but we drew yet another gate. Still, they haven't tried to destroy it yet. Let's go ahead and insight here. And we get to do a lot of stuff on our turn that pretty much fully plays around them having the Wrath and sets us up to recover in case they do. We have a single Thrall. We have a Thrall in our deck somewhere that is the Black Splash, but they're all in gate form, so it's kind of like a free Black Splash. If they attack with the eel here, I'll chump. Maybe not with the flyers. They can get, well, Slime Bind, yeah, the flyers are not getting through here, so let's go ahead and chump one. Alright, well, it's no problem to kill you. $5 to anybody who knows that reference. That's a super... It's not actually an obscure thing. It's a very popular cultural reference, but it's just a part of it that got stuck in my head and has been stuck there for... How many years? Is it closing in on 20? Yeah. It's no problem to kill you. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have double manipulation. But I'm willing to just gate and angel here. 5, 6. Whatever. Let's just. I'm gonna keep doing this. Chili Bee. That was an NPC line from Grand Theft Auto 3. That just always stuck with me for some reason. Just wandering by a guy on the street and he says, "He's no problem to kill you." I'm like, whoa. It's an aggro town. So what is this about? Attacking into Chillbringer. This may be a sign of the Wrath to come. Yeah, this seems like a Wrath, so I'll go ahead and prevent 1 damage. If it's not a Wrath and they're doing a trick here or something, we can manage that as well. Ah, it's not a Wrath. I see what you're up to. It's a Wrath of sorts. That's fine though. Leave your eel around for us to take. Play something else big. Not big enough. I think next turn we play the Angel, give him a chance to put even more stuff out, and see how big we can get this manipulation to be. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this sets up a 10 mana manipulation. And I want to at least pretend I have a counterspell. Stupid auto tap. We could bind the eel or whatever, but we want him to have more creatures. Heck, I want to manipulate for 4 now. That's my new goal in life. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sky Tether. We know what we're gonna do about that. Ooh, we could just expose to daylight, actually. Let's do that. Plaza. No, I'm going to send the Plaza away. It's not dead this time. Maybe we'll find a Colossus, so that's a good draw. We got all sorts of win power now. Can't counter a Wrath yet, though. That's worth continuing to observe. Yeah, let's save it. It's kind of our prime win condition right now. You would have exposed Slime Bind and drowned. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, it is kind of weird, isn't it? There's another one of those for us. See, I took that capture out, and it's really what, or not the capture, the hard counter, and it's really what I want right now. Bouncing the eel. I don't care about bouncing the eel. I care about maintaining a win condition with 11 cards left through a probable Wrath, and life total doesn't matter to me as much right now as keeping this Angel going. The problem with stealing the eel, as has been observed, is that our opponent has shown Wrath, and we're winning this race against the eel. I'm just not too concerned about it. I'd rather force them to Wrath this situation. I guess we could force that. We could mass manip and keep admonition up. If we can do that, I'll do that. Then they're kind of in a super tough spot. The fact that they keep playing no more creatures to this board really makes me think they are trying to Wrath their way out of this. We could play that and see if it forces the issue. Alright, they're finally doing that trade. We could bind the eel to force the Wrath. And then we save the Angel and just finish with that. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, I'm not sure they're gonna... Yeah, let's, alright, we'll do it. We'll do this and force the Wrath. Don't even... It's got flash, but... I'm just doing it now, and... Bring that Angel back. When Oppo gives it up here. Maybe not. Yes, you may have that. Seems all right. They've been holding on to that all game. More creatures, more creatures. No? Double Wrath would be a tip-the-cap moment, that's for sure. And we'll let that resolve. Maybe they'll resolve something else. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Look. I could cast Mass Manipulation for 5 here on all 5 creatures, but it's probably just showing off. We're nowhere near dead. Don't even care about the vigilance. How much life have we gained this game? It's a lot. Alright, I'll actually do the vigilance this time. Still had all these Steel 5 creatures. All right, started out on a loss in that match, but pulled it around. Got to a gem prize for the free-to-play account without any losses, so that feels good. And maybe I'll take this time to get some food going for myself. What have I got up here? How many Chillbringers is too many? Probably maybe the 7th, maybe the 6th or 7th is too many. I think most decks can handle 5 drops okay. Also depends on, of course, what other awesome 5 drops you have. I think that's the serious answer. And let's see. Here's some shins, and I'll be right back. Hey gang, thanks for waiting. Let's get back to it. Got a beef barley soup and the last slice of a cherry pie. Our local grocery store has always this excellently well-stocked day-old bakery section, and I love getting half-priced, not even day-old, it's just like they put bakery stuff that's going to expire in like 2 days or a day, they put in the half price. And so then you just, as long as you're going to eat it soon, it's half price pie. We'll keep this. It's not great, but we'll keep it. So how sneaky greedy should we be? I think a little bit, but not fully. I'm going to play our splash gate here, and then we'll leave this gate for turn 4 for the sneak. One reason to not just leave it all for the sneak is we do want to get towards Colossus. Another gate deck, maybe? It's Arena, we're all gate decks. Yeah, see, this is weird. I don't know if I'm trying to sneak a bunch or get Colossus as early as possible. Let's see. Colossus with 3 gates, 8, it becomes 5. So at earliest it could be on 5 anyway. And we go land, and then it would be 6. It would be turn 6 at the earliest anyway. Yeah, so we'll wait. We'll be gate greedy. Or sneak greedy is what I'm saying. Intimidating numbers of gates across the way make me think we may be up against superior gate forces. But maybe we get a free attack. No, gotta gate it. I was gonna add munition, but since we got the doggy, we'll just play the doggy. Chili bee.
All right, everyone, chill.
So what we're going to do is play a plains and just run out the Thrall. And then next turn, we can play the gate, we can cast the Colossus and get the sneak through. Hey, I'm all about food talk. Oh, my here's some food talk for you. I know I'm kind of late to this train, but I bet some of you who make food a lot aren't on this train at all, but I'm a full-on sous vide convert. I've made like 5 things sous vide, and all of them have been excellent. And it's been rough on my wife because she's a vegetarian, and when we make meat, in order to finish it, you really have to sear it in cast iron, and we don't have good ventilation. So I have an order for a kitchen torch for that side of it, but really, the quality of food with the sous vide has been outstanding, and I've learned to make sous vide omelet, like kind of those Starbucks egg bites in the sous vide, and so now I can make my wife amazing sous vide breakfasts, and she's coming around on this on this cooking method. I'm not going to cook meat any other way. One of the big benefits it has for me is that I'm still a cooking noob. I'm beyond beginner now, and you'd call me like a novice. I'm still learning. I've only been cooking with an intent to really get better at it and make it part of my life for about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and because of that, I'm pretty slow in the kitchen. So when I try to make a complete meal, and trying to time my side dishes with the main dish is really difficult for me. And so far, besides just the amazing product, the amazing end result, the greatest benefit of sous vide for me has been the fact that it has this long runway for delivering the dish. It takes 5-ish minutes to go from out of the sous vide to seared to on the table. So the sous vide allows me to, but it has, a meat needs to be in there for 90 minutes to 4 hours. So you get this huge window that just sometime in there, I need to bring the side dishes together. And then when I see the side dishes coming together, I pop the meat out, grill it, and then boom, I can hit the table with, 3 dinner items all done at the same time, which has been a really tough point for me to successfully create mealtime, Nice. Picked up a guild gate for more sneaking. These 2 can't currently block the Colossus, and the others don't have enough damage for it, and we have Slime Bind anyway, so we're looking good for attacks all over. We've got Watchdog, Slime Bind, and Admonition to save us if things go wrong in combat. So it's a pretty easy attack with what you can. Right on, Salmon. Sous vide just takes a long time, so you got to plan for it. It's not just hey, let's up and decide to sous vide. But now that I've incorporated it more into my meal planning, it's great. And I'm trying to switch, our biggest waste as a family, easily our biggest waste, and it feels bad too, is like the food waste. We buy things and don't eat them, and they go bad, and we throw them out, and it feels horrendous. So in trying to go more optimal in that direction, I'm really trying to plan meal, go to the store every couple of days and get a small quantity of things that we truly intend to consume over the course of the next whatever days. And then that's allowing us to be more efficient with our food, allowing me to do better meal planning so that I can take advantage of sous vide and say, okay, on Wednesday is going to be chicken night or whatever. So, all right, just want to deny me a card? That's cool. Card denied. Oh, Valhalla, so I might get there eventually. That sounds amazing. So we can't avoid the trade here, so we'll slime bind the mammoth and trade with the Chillbringer. And I guess we don't even need to necessarily bind the mammoth. It's dying no matter what, so we can decide where we want to use that and how. And I just don't think we need to use it yet. So we'll just take that trade. And can't block, can't block, can't block. Slime bind. Maybe we will slime bind it before we start the next turn, because with depose, slime bind, and admonition, it's going to be very difficult for Oppo to put creatures down that can actually block this Colossus. So they need to actively eliminate the Colossus, and we have admonition to save it in that case. So I think we're looking very good here. Yeah, I need to... I've been avoiding, like, chopping, dicing solutions because I've been working on my knife skills. But chopping stuff is easily where is the biggest time sink of meal prep for me. Taking all these veggies and turning them into well-cut options, you know? Yeah, so they don't have 6 to get the hybrid, and we can slime bind the spider. My knife skills are just okay, but I really love I love learning how to chop a vegetable. Actually, I like going to YouTube and saying, "How do you chop whatever?" and then seeing like the best way to do it to get even sized pieces and everything is always interesting to me. My knife skills are getting better. I have a Victorinox chef's knife, just a kind of standard issue. Don't even really need to show them this. Let's make them have an answer. And the Law Mage's binding is great. Since it has flash, if they do anything to make a creature large enough to block, we can bind it in response. So they need to gain life or kill the Colossus here, or they're dead. I guess if they flashed in... Yeah, so that keeps them alive for a turn. Cast it like so. Admonition still at the ready. We're not tapping down out. We're not going shields down on admonition while we have this Colossus. Colossus is our win con here. I have the knife I do because a chef friend of mine recommended it, and so did Wirecutter. But I'll look into that. All right, sorry, Oppo, not trying to annoy you. This should be it. I think if you took the second or the third line of text off of this card, I wouldn't hate it so much as an uncommon. But it's the 2 power or less and the return clause that make it feel so rare to me. What do we see there? It was another... I was barely paying attention to what my opponent was doing there. That's bad form. They were gatey, though, weren't they? Yeah, they were gatey. So, makes me not want to do eyes anywhere. Everywhere, rather. Exposed to daylight. They did show some signets. And probably have some... Did we see any aura-based removal? I think I'm just going to run it back. I don't think we have anything great against what we saw there. And I don't see anything worth bringing expose in for at this point. I don't know what vector marketing is. Is it what makes it evil? Getting tempo there, not the worst. I think we have no gate payoff cards or whatever, so I'm going to gate here and replay the Pegasus, since it seems like Oppo's saying they can't really attack through it, so let's throw that back out. Blocking every time here. I see. The customers become the sales force. What's the play here? Vampire can't trade with the beast, but it does threaten to trade with the help of the Pegasus as a 1-for-1. Yeah, I kind of like Vampire here. Then Chillbringer. And if we have another land by then, we can go Acuity, Admonition on the same turn. They didn't use any combat trick to get rid of the Pegasus, so if they crash in with both, I'm going to go ahead and put... They probably won't send in the hybrid, because I don't think they want to trade the hybrid for the Vampire if they're close, at all close to getting to 6 mana. But I will put the Vampire and the Pegasus in front of the Beast here. It could turn into a 2-for-1 if they have a trick, but they haven't shown a trick to this point. And it would use up their whole turn and then set us up for a next turn where we Chillbring and hopefully get our way to start grinding some value with Acuity. Okay, well now they can't attack with a hybrid. That was interesting. Happy to have them use it there, really. Audio is feeling a little muffled sometimes from the game. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, we have our 2-play turn 6, so let's Chillbring here. Let's actually chill bring the Sora form. Well, it would make them use it. If they want to use a... No, we'll do this. And attack here. We don't even know they're going to have the 6th land. There's no guarantee. And if they do, okay. They can use their entire turn to make a 6/6 that we can admonition. Or they can threat of activation 2 damage through and cast something else. Either way, that's not the worst for us. So, not going to block here. Commission bait. Okay, I gotcha. Kind of hoping they were going to spend the 6. But that's one that we can send back to. We want to find our... what's the... rare... The other one... What is it called? Where is it? Law Mage's Binding. There we go. We're going to find a Law Mage's Binding for the Colossus. And in the meantime... execute the 2-spell turn as planned with the obvious choice of Colossus for the return trip. Can we attack, though? We bring them down to 16 or to 15, and they crack back for taking me to 10 and playing a Colossus and threatening a 6/6. That's pretty grim. But do we win in the long haul by just attacking 4 times in the air or whatever? We need more help than that. We're going to get the Courier down. The Courier can hold off the Beast. I guess since the Courier can hold off the Beast, we're not going to offer that trade, so we're going to attack. And next turn we can do Dog, Courier, and Acuity. Sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes the magic gods are apparently punishing the other player. Well, Troubleness, we bounced it to their hand last term, so we knew this was coming back down. That's why I was talking about that race, because this is an 8/8, this is a 6/6. It's a real problem, but we have a real solution now, so hooray for that. Yeah, we'll QD. And bind while the binding is good. And make a doggy. Might even put the doggy in front of the hybrid. Although we can just, you know... Yeah, I guess that saves 6. I'm going to say use up your turn on this, or spend 6 to kill my dog. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This brings back the Acuity, which can be cast on 7. Basically, it's deploy plus Courier or Acuity, so we don't really need 8 land. Let's start with a deploy. Oh, actually, if we're going to play Courier... Yeah, we'll do Courier into deploy. Gain a bunch of life back here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're actually presenting lethal. Would we take 9 on the presumption that our lethal is good? I think so. They haven't really showed anything else. So let's see. 9. So the way to lose here from 9 is if they have a pump spell and a skewer or something like that. I think we say no blocks and go for lethal here. Hope this doesn't cost me the game, but it feels correct. Yeah, I could block with the courier too, but I didn't want to put it at risk. I guess if we're putting it at risk though, because yeah, a pump spell doesn't kill us though is the thing. So I liked that play. I'm going to play the Acuity before attacking just to have that ready. Now there's a lot of risk here, of course. Like, by not chumping, it was probably too... I shouldn't have gone for lethal. Now that I think about it, we're going to try here. I got to follow through on this plan. We'll certainly make the courier have vigilance. And then I guess we even still survive if they don't have any... if they have something here. All right, we got there. That was a risky line, though. If I could do it over again, I think I would chump and just try to attack twice. I don't know. Not sure how you lose more often there by going for the lethal or risking it. It just feels like if you go for the lethal and it fails, you just straight lose. Whereas if you go for the 2-turn win and something happens to disrupt it, you haven't lost. You're just now fighting for a longer game. 3-0 start is great, though. We're happy about that. Yeah, courier wouldn't have been a chump. If the plan was to go for lethal, I didn't want to put anything at risk. Mana's been a little rough today, but that happens. This could even be an okay hand against some opponents with a double dog, but we don't know, so we're going to mulligan into something again almost as bad, if not worse. We have a Savant, though, so let's look for blue and try and dig our way out of this. No blue, but at least a second land. Island, 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 island. No island for the home team. Up against a Caracal. I hardly ever see that card. What weirdness is this? Esper aggro? Well, there's blue. But we're already kind of up against it here. Tough to see that on a mulligan, mana-starved mulligan hand. Gotta do this here. Land and Acuity. We put Acuity on top, play that, get the land, and then Insight, and work our way back here. Do we have the time? I think the Savant gives us time, but if it gets exiled, maybe this plan is bad. If it got exiled and I wanted to spend, and we kept it this way, then what? Then I'm like Slime Binding instead, which is also not the worst. It gives us only 1 blue. Yeah, I think it would be totally wrong. I think double D's, we need land, and it would have been incorrect. Especially, we didn't know what our opponent was playing. Who knows what the dog is even good. I'm going to risk this. But this could go poorly. And that's why. Slimebind would save 3. Acuity gets 2 back. But I really want to play the Acuity and play that land. Ugh. This is bad news. Yeah. It's maybe a little too aggressive with my plan, given my life total and the expectation that Oppo would have removal. So maybe we are on... But if we don't... Then we're slime binding here, and we're drawing a gate. So then what happens next turn? We untap, we play a gate, we've got 3 mana, and we're staring at this Pontiff, and we're at 5 life. And... Maybe I just need to do the Pontiff anyway. Depose, deploy? I could depose... Nah. Yeah, I think we have to do... I have to follow the plan here. It's going to be right up against it, but... It's just this isn't much of a stabilization play when your opponent has a Death Toucher, is the thing. Like, I think we might actually rather do Slime Bind and Depose here. I wish we could do this during our main phase to relevant effect. But we can't, so... Yeah, I think we have to Slime Bind the Pontiff so that it can't do its Death Touchy thing. And so we're going to Depose the 3/1 and Slime Bind the Pontiff here. Don't quench me, bro. Alright. 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 We even get to still cast the Colossus while playing out our Plaza. Three mana, 8/8s. See what they can do for us. I mean, they just bounce it and we're still in serious trouble, though. That's the thing, right? Untapped land for Angel? No. So we're locked into this Insight play now to gain the 2. And sadly, our Colossus is purely defensive right now. I think we're probably going to be dead here. We just need to get rid of the Colossus and we're doomed. No? Essence capturable thing? Alright, essence capturable thing means we're not stone dead. But need help. Okay, can we steal 2 things? Just the 1 thing, but now we're locked into manipulation steal. Or we can angel. Let's just angel it, get lots of life back. Great, we got there. And I think we even get to attack now. A lot of people play against Slime Bind and Tether like it was pacifism. I've done it. I do it. It's just, I bet that's what's going on there. So now we have Steel 2. If we wanted to steal 2. But I like Steel 1 here. Or does it even matter? I guess it does. Yeah, cutie, hold up counter, leave angel back even. You can sack in response. Yeah, that's true. For mass manipulation. So mass manipulation might just become a removal spell anyway. So let's attack. I'm going to be aggressive because we have the counter spell, the Thought Collapse, and we have Acuity to gain life. I was trying to figure out how conservative we needed to be. Just thinking through that. And the answer is not actually all that conservative. I like having Admonition to save the Colossus or replay the Angel. Oh, we'll just collapse if they try to do something there. Okay, good. And now we're going to collapse that. Kind of aggro mid-range. Orzhov leaning on the aggro-ish side, it looks like, but, you know, mid-range elements as well. Now we just win, right? Oh, 12. Let's see. We can't quite just win. But we get to steal 2 now, so that's cool. Solid, but I still think we get there. All right. Fine start in the 4th match. Orzhov. I had thought about, you know, we have something, we could bring in a shorter curve if we thought we were up against really aggro, but I don't think we are. We could bring in eyes everywhere. But they showed enough gates, right, to... I mean, I think did they show a plaza? I think they showed a plaza. Makes me not want to play that. Exposed to daylight. Didn't we see a daylight target? I think we did. I gotta pay better attention in the darn game. Yeah, I'm going to run it back. Ill-gotten inheritance, that's a good point. We did see that. I'll bring 1 in and sit what? Sit Orzhov. Like, Pegasus actually does okay things against Orzhov. That's a trouble. There's not a lot I want to cut here. I guess Vampire's pretty bad against a lot of what they're doing against the 1 toughness, but we'll keep 1. Let's just do that. Thank you, Tribe. That felt good. Right up against the edge there, but we brought it back. Couldn't really throw this back, but to make it work, we really need blue. Yet, any land helps us get to the insight, so I'm going to keep the plains, but it's not exciting. Lock it. No lock it.
Analyzed and found assault wanting.
Pretty grim, but I'm actually going to use this on the flyer for the scry so that we can try and find our way to some kind of an answer. Do we need to keep that gate? It doesn't allow us to cast anything but deploy or depose. I'm going to bin this because I really want to find a land, a basic land. We want a basic land and cast this insight. Not a basic land, but it is something that can at least attempt to pressure Dovin. Yes, manipulation does steal planeswalkers.
And others.
Okay, now we've got insight and essence captures. We're going to leave it like this because now we have essence capture if they try to cast a creature spell that puts a counter on the courier, or we get to deploy and create enough to take out Dovin even if they go up with Dovin here. If they go down with Dovin, we get to just depose and win, or not win, but get Dovin.
Please seek to innovate.
We might be able to afford the vigilance with what our plan is, which is again to hold up essence capture / deploy. But there's nothing to block, and
That's your best.
This
needn't worry.
threatens more anyway. Once more. Now you might as well make a dude. Or save. Their choice is 1/1 flyer or 3 life. Let's say if they've chosen 1/1 flyer.
Fired by a good assault.
I'm going to go with Insight here, and then, well, this is a pretty valuable creature now. Maybe I'll run the Watchdog out, and we'll deploy if all of this survives. I don't want to lose the Courier now. This is a pretty big beast in the air, and they could exile it, in which we can't stop an exile with the Watchdog. Pontiff you get. Yeah, I guess we'll trade one of ours for that. Closing in on the ability to manipulate, and the dog is enough of a reason to not do vigilance here. Now the vigilance is going to start to be great. Attack there. Binding at the ready. I was thinking about Demise and whether we would save, whether we'd bother saving it with the admonition, given that we are just it's gonna become a 1/4 when we bring it back. So I'm gonna say no, we won't save it. And if we can get an island off the top, we have double steal. If we can get shields down on Pontiff. So I'm going to take this. All right, we have our double manipulation set. So let's think about how best to get there. And admonitioning. We want to admonition. Thing is, I don't think they want to tap down. Let's see. We can start with an attack. I'm going to let it all happen. Ideally, they do not play a 5th land, and they decide to go for their Thrall. Then, when they tap out for their Thrall, we can double steal the 2 flyers, and Oppo doesn't have the capability to sacrifice them. So we're going to see if we can get that. And it looks like we will. We could also steal the Pontiff itself if we thought that was correct. Let's think about that. And we do have a binding to throw around as well. But binding stops the activated ability, so we should just do that on the Pontiff. Let's bind the Pontiff here. And double steal. Angel isn't worth a whole lot of life this game yet, but we'll take the 4. If we draw a basic land, we have admonition ready as well. Yeah, we heard mind control was good and limited, but nobody ever told us about double mind control, so that one's, the jury is still out. Angel plus Slime Bind is a nice turn to have available here. Playing the Slime Bind leaves us Watchdog vulnerable. That's worth keeping in mind, but doesn't necessarily dictate the action here. Dueling Angels. Frustrating is even if we bind that, the 3 powers don't get through, but they don't die either, so we'll get around it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bind that at our end of turn. I guess I could have all attacked there. The dog can't attack anyway. We'll save the admonition. One play there would be to bounce the angel and replay it, but we don't need to be that fancy. We just want to try and have our flyers get there. Interesting. Can we bounce? No. Okay, so they get some life, but we kind of have to send the angel back. Okay, maybe we just 9. It's not quite lethal, but it's pretty good. We don't need to bounce the vampire to prevent life gain because we can block the vampire with the Resolute Watchdog and sacrifice it if we feel like we need to make that play. But Oppo goes to 6, and then we still have enough to fly by if they don't do anything else. So this should still be lethal because we have the Watchdog play. And they may be thinking that's how they're going to avoid lethal. But we get to do this. So Angel's not enough. Inheritance is not enough. I think, hopefully they're just tanking here about their upcoming scoop. Because it needs to be one of those 3 cards we don't know about. The Angel is Dobbs. What do you think, Oppo? It's 3 cards. If one of them isn't Wrath, I'm not sure how you win here. Let's see, what could they do? 2 Grotesque Demises is still not enough. You know, there's not a lot of options here that aren't Wrath-based. All right, we win. Their play is hope they don't attack with everything. Yeah, here, we'll just do this. Send it back again. That's true, we made the Angel indestructible. Alright, 4-0 start. We get 2 shots at a 5-win event. I started off, for those of you who joined late, I was talking on the stream that we've gone 10 traditional drafts without a 5-win, so hopefully that changes today, but we could easily lose 2 from here. It's a good deck, but not unstoppable or anything. Open some packs because I feel like it. Who's texting me? Son needing permission for a school thing. Permission granted. All right, come on. Nice, clean... Oops, we're not doing that. We're doing this. I do play constructed on Arena. I'd say maybe under 5% of this stream has been constructed, but it's not 0. Typically, it comes up when we are grinding gold on accounts. So, forgive me if this is information you already know, Rob, but I play on 3 different accounts here. A paid account that pays as much as we want to pay to do what we want to do, and then I manage 2 free-to-play accounts. One is a primary that I really try and keep constantly fully ground on gold and all that stuff. This is a 5-lander, but I'm gonna keep. And we'll have essence capture on 2. So when we are trying to grind, sometimes, and also I try to stream for a certain amount of time, and there are times when I don't quite want to start another draft. Okay, now I'm going to play the Pegasus because I'd love to essence capture onto it. If I don't have enough time to complete another full draft and there's a free-to-play account that needs to grind, in fact, today might be one of it. If we win this match, then... Oh, I should have attacked. I'm just trying to do too many things here, talking and playing. But if we win this, then we'll do some gold grinding on the free-to-play 2 account. So you'll see some... The thing is, I don't often do like, all right, I'm practicing standard, here's my Sultai mid-range tier 1 deck. And we could do that too. If you want to see some real standard, we could gold grind on the free-to-play account, or on the paid account, which has better cards. What are you up to, Oppo? Hopefully you're up to casting a cool creature for me to snap off. Nothing, says Oppo. I'm up to Zilch. Well, I don't trust him. They might just be going for the... adapt here. But let's see, we can play the Watchdog and have Insight and Capture up. So we'll do this. And I'll skip the 2 life to draw 2 cards if they don't do anything worth essence capturing. But hopefully all this ramp was headed towards one big, huge creature they're hoping to get land right now that we're going to stop. Locket happens. Couldn't do anything about it anyway. 3, 4, 5. They've still got 5 mana. What you gonna do with 5? You want to attack? They're not gonna attack. This might make them think we didn't have counter magic after all. We'll see if they do. All right. I was gonna say I don't mind the counter, but Frilled Mystic hurts. Not gonna lie. I do like that we get Sneak plus Essence Capture, though. It's not a big mana play or anything, but we're going to counter that. Could have put that on the Sneak, but let's get it on the thing that's currently attacking. Okay. It's going to be one of those, huh? I mean, we gotta try. You can't not try there. Really embarrassing that we're getting owned by someone who literally did nothing in, well, of substance until turn 6 or something. Let's start with Acuity. And I'm going to hold off on the land and make sure that sneak gets through. I think we're pretty dead here. Like, I'm going to keep the Pegasus back because I would put the dog and the Pegasus on one of the Mystics. But I think we're just pretty dead here. I don't think they were playing around the counter as much as they were insisting on getting value for their frilled Mystic. I'd have to rewatch. We have no sweepers or anything, so I don't even know how we would win from here. I guess we're getting some of the cards we need to do it, though. We need them to invest into some of their adapt, and then we binding that. Maybe we just manage to somehow, some way get them in the air. It's our only chance. No, we weren't. I guess that happens in Control on Control. We were sitting there waiting. We were both sitting around waiting to counter stuff. Yeah, no need to chump yet, but that may be chumped. Now we'll throw the binding on that. There's this though. We got to worry about this with 4 counters. Yeah, they basically have an unblockable play here. So we're going to lose to this unless we find counter magic. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right now we're dead to that. So we need to definitely bind the biggest thing. But even then, we barely survive under these circumstances. Although we can surprise it. So maybe they'll play the hybrid, or play this, think they've got the win. We bind the hybrid, and then that allows us to live to fight another day. Oh, they don't have red yet. Good call. We'll still wait on the binding for their turn, though, in case they draw red. Sirat, it's just an uncommon. It happens. I mean, if there was 2 mythics, I might go whoa. But heck, I don't even go whoa. They have same 2 rare anymore. Just an uncommon. All right, that's good that they're cracking Locket. I hope they find the mountain. Actually, I don't. It'd be easy if they just could never cast red the whole game. But it'd be more fun to do this trick. Maybe I should have put this on the stack while the Locket was on the stack. No worries. Glad you could tune in. Thanks for hanging. Okay. Well, I'm down for this block. Wait, we can even do the... Well, we can't if we kill it, right? Okay, so... Yeah, we'll do this. No biggie. The more relevant thing is that they have a flyer blocker now. The most relevant thing is that we're at 7 life, staring a lot of trouble. Let's see what we can find here. And I'm going to go ahead and... Well, actually, wait. 1, 2, 4... Yeah, I shouldn't. In case we mass manipulate, I should leave... Nah, but it's actually just does a block all on its own. What we should do is make sure to activate the vigilance with all white, so that if we do get the manipulation here, we can still cast it. Oh, of course that can be blocked. What am I thinking? Oh well. I just think of the flying blocking. Admonition, does that help us at all? I guess we should set the eel back here, and it gets the acuity back in hand. Thought Collapse we can't cast because I didn't think about it as I was casting the admonition, but we'll cast the acuity. Now we really don't want him to get red. Is that the play? I don't know how we win if we lose the Thrall, though, is the problem. We could put the Thrall in front of the Duelist and just let the Pegasus go as a chumper. I think if there's any hope of us winning, it's that the Thrall finds a way to attack. So I'm going to do this. Well, red would be a good game. Red is game over. Can't block nothing if they find red. We'll get our Thought Collapse up, though. Then we can even survive red. Nuh-uh. Can we survive anything? I'm going to move on. Too much to overcome in that hand. Simic splashing some red. They're big mana, but Quench still isn't good because a lot of their mana is Admonition, so they'll pay 2 mana for their spell and then spend 8 to pump it up, and Quench does nothing in that spot. Eyes Everywhere is bad in that spot. Did we see exposed to daylight targets? There was a Locket, but I don't consider that a target. Didn't see a Slime Bind. Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything we particularly wanted to do that for, so... Watchdog seemed pretty lukewarm here, though. Maybe Watchdog out for something generic like a Juggler in. Just a dude. You could Blade Brand for some surprise Death Touch. They wouldn't really see that coming, probably. You could do Blade Brand for the other dog. I just don't feel like the dogs were doing anything here. Not of significant value. Holding off some early attacks, maybe. And then down one, up one, like that, if we do that. It's not a lot of white, really. Do this. Nah, no eyes. I don't like the eyes that much to begin with, but I generally only bring it in against non-blue opponents. No, I was explaining earlier I don't like Quench against Simic because too often their plays are small. They're making their 2-spell turn is play a 3-drop and then spend 4 to adapt or something, and Quench is just terrible against adapt. Come on! Really been up against it on mana. We're still 4-0, but the mana is really... The opening hands have been tough. Dueling nothings over here. Yeah, that's annoying. We'll counter it. What do we get? Some stuff. Splash card we can't cast. We'll just admonition that. Oh, we could binding that, but we still need to find some land, so we'll go ahead and admonition. But let's... Yeah, we'll do it that way too. All right. Savant, help us out. Super lag. There's our splash color. And more land for mass manipulation seems good. Keep it all. We do something like attempt to Law Mage's Binding on their turn, draw out the Frilled Mystic so that we can get 2 on the manipulation, but we're not even at 2 yet there. I'm going to do it this way because I changed my mind midstream here. That's fine too. Yeah, the question was, whether to let him Mystic there. Now, boy, do we want to land. Magic Gods, land on top 1 time while their Frilled Mystic is down. Please. Please. Land on top. Yes. They could quench it, but at least quench goes to the graveyard. They can't frilled mystic it. Okay, so it goes. Oh, well, you know. Look. We try to be dramatic, okay? I'm glad I didn't ask for my one time on that, at least. Juggle here seems good. We're drawing a card, though, so let's not let it wreck us on that front. There we go. You guys act like I remember things that happened 30 seconds ago. I'm 46. My new number is like 15 at most seconds before I forget what just happened. Why didn't I Blade Juggler and counter their 6/6 with Quench? Because Gate Colossus is sweet? I don't know. Gate Colossus was sweet, and they didn't have Frilled Mystic mana, which is the counter we're really playing against, playing around here. Tough part is we now need them to tap out, or we need to do something that makes them Frilled Mystic and tap out on their turn, and then we untap and manipulate. 4, 8. What? Oh, you're talking... Yeah, we don't have Quench. Well, whatever we had. All right. Maybe we need to see about that getting to 6/6 levels. And we can make him do that next turn with the deploy. I'm going to take this... Yeah, we're going to bait Frilly with Slime Bind. I could have done it right there. That's assuming, like, we're just sure that they have it. I don't want to do it yet. We'll bait the Frilled next turn. 6, 7, 8, 9. If we draw a 10th land, we get to get all 3 of them. So a basic land next turn would be great. But we're definitely going to do a bunch of stuff to get him to commit to pumping the hybrid. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they got to choose between hybrid, pump, and Frilled Mystic availability. Oh, maybe not. Well, if they have 2, they can't cast them both. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they cannot Mystic and Hybrid is the thing. I really want to make them pump the Hybrid. So let's start by letting them attack. Not even attacking with the Hybrid yet. So then, sure, now let's do it. Let's Slime Bind, draw out the Mystic. And now even try and draw out the Deploy. We could try... Yeah, we'll just chump 1. Yeah, land... Now we want basic land off the top. Very specifically, basic land off the top. Please. I didn't put it there this time. One-time dealer, basic land off the top. One time, one time. No. Oh, this is interesting. We can't beat Quench on this either, but we're going to try. I think we got to just hope this is enough. Although I really wanted this to get to 6/6 before we stole it. And again, if they do it to 6/6, they can't... I'm going to Chillbring first. We're going to Chillbring. It both probes for other counter magic. And we'll offer up a Blade Juggler. Probably not get it. Okay, we will. Right, maybe. Well, I'm going to offer to trade for the Mystic, and I hope they have something to stop it. All right, well, they don't have an instant, but there's no assurance that this is going to quench. This may get quenched. If it gets quenched, we lost this match of Magic, and that's how it goes, but we got to try. All right, no quench.
All right, everyone. Chill.
You could save the Thopter back on D to prevent 5 from the heal or something. Yeah, let's keep it back. We'll offer the Chillbringer trade for the level of damage it offers. And we'll keep the Plaza. And really be willing to throw these in the face of attack. Like, we just don't want to lose to some big attack here. Is Quench worth it? It does its job in the counter wars, and we are getting into a spot where we're going like back and forth here and there. But man, it's such a dead top deck, and we've been seeing these late games where we have been both untapping with lots of mana available. So, Growth Spiral, we're nowhere near green. Yeah, I don't think we can do the Quench thing. I think we just run it back. All right. One more. Solid opener. At least from a mana standpoint, we'll keep it. Drawing a Dovin's Acuity would be fantastic with this hand. Frilled Mystic was already telegraphed, but now it's super telegraphed. To deploy or not to deploy? Yeah, we want to find land, and our future turns are pretty busy, so let's just run this out, draw a card, save a couple damage, try to find our land. And let's get a vampire down. Quench that if you want. Or that works too. I'm debating the chump versus using admonition to get it back, or at least using admonition to say, do you really want to counter this or not? I'm going to go ahead and chump. We could also pass and operate at instant speed. If they're going to not spend their 4, let's at least make them spend that. We don't need the 2 life. So actually what I'm going to do is pass. Or the 2 life isn't as important as making this Oppo work with this Mystic. The 2 life isn't going to matter because they're probably going to Mystic it anyway. All right, well, we get a couple cards with no hassle. We can chill bring ourselves here while shields are down. Excuse me. You can also career with Blade Brand up. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to do that because if they attack with the hybrid, we get to cast Blade Brand and say, oh, really? Okay, great. Oppo, you cray-cray. Do this and bring some chill while we can.
All right, everyone, chill. All right, everyone, chill.
Happy to get the angel down. Through the frilled mystic. This will be fun. let's attack in, and if they double block the angel, we have fun tricks that we can do even through the mystic. Because first we try admonition, which they will mystic. And then we slime bind. This one. Now, they better have done the ordering thing, right? Like, this is, it should be in the order that they're going to be dealt damage, right? Angel still doesn't die, so we'll just let all this happen. And let's see. It's all a bunch of ETBs over there. We don't want to admonition anything they've got, basically, so we pass. Bouncing their chill was to force the action. Like, I bounced the chill because they knew they were going to counter it. Like, I bounced the chill because they literally weren't going to counter it, if that's what you're talking about. They had to. We put them in a spot where they had to counter it, or they're just accepting a total blowout and their 3/3 gets eaten, and they couldn't just do that. Not bad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We cannot cast it all, though. I'm going to save the Colossus here, and let's start with an admonition on the Druid. I could have gone for the blowout in combat again, I guess, but with the Colossus, I'm just trying to get to Colossus mana, and we can let them have this trade because we're like, partly because we don't care here. Like, we get to attack in with our big flyers, and no matter how they want to do this, the Chillbringer goes down. This Chillbringer goes down, and we come back with a Thrall of our own. We aren't saving it until he adapts it because they're going to adapt it at end step. I want the card right now. I'm just trying to really stop thinking about this play as being some great thing against their creature. It was a way for us to cycle a card and provide a little bit of tempo. I did not actually set blockers there. I thought that they didn't put the Chillbringer into harm's way. I didn't get to order the blockers. Tapped out, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure, let's do it again, folks. Easy game. They did. What? I missed it. It must have been a misclick or something, because I don't remember getting a chance to order blockers there. I think I just must have slip clicked or something and missed my chance to order blockers. Yeah, we're just counting on that. Well, apparently you mentioned your drought in 5-win traditionals, and you get a 5-win traditional. Sweet. Huzzah! Let's claim this prize.